Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, this is Kathika, and today we're going to talk about 10 must-do things here in Japan in autumn. So if you plan to travel to Japan in autumn, this is your video. Take notes, guys! What are the best seasons to come to Japan is usually a question I get asked when people want to travel to Japan. And of course, spring, cherry blossom is very, very famous, but actually autumn here in Japan is called the second cherry blossom. And autumn is another season that people love to travel to Japan. A reason for that being is the temperatures are a lot better, the humidity goes down, everything is milder, and the turning of the leaves is one of the spectacular scenarios that people love coming here for. But there's more. When we interviewed Japanese people about what makes them proud about Japan and their culture, a lot of people responded, the 4 seasons. And that surprised me at first because we have 4 seasons in Germany too. But what's different here is Japan, and people in Japan celebrate these seasons a lot differently. Each season has something special to offer, and so does autumn. So let's dive a little bit deeper into it. Number 1. The turning of the leaves, called koyo. Koyo is actually really celebrated by Japanese people here. It's when the leaves turn different colors, strong red, orange, yellow, and there are entire forests that change color. And that's why koyo is also called the second cherry blossom. And the advantage of it lasts for a lot longer than cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms usually, go for a week, 2 weeks plus minus, and then you have to kind of keep chasing it down the area where it's colder and they bloom later. But koyo can last for a long time, which means you can plan in advance, book hotels and places in advance, and a lot of Japanese people go through that time, travel to different places in Japan, and enjoy the turning of the leaves. Sumimasen. みたらし団子1つをください。ありがとうございます。たらー。Number 2, Tsukimi, which literally translate means to look at the moon. On Tsukimi, you kind of celebrate the harvest moon, and that is a night in which you are encouraged to sit outside and watch the full moon, the very strong, big full moon in autumn, and you usually have some kind of rice cakes with it. There's some moon-related rice cakes and some moon-related dishes during that time. So these ones, for example, would be a thing that you'd bring maybe to your garden or balcony while you sit there and watch the moon rise at night. It's kind of romantic. So this one here is mitarashi dango. It's similar to the pyramid of rice cakes that you usually eat on tsukimi. So it's also made out of rice cakes, just that this one here comes in a thick sauce called tare. Woo! And you can see on the inside it is actually just white rice cakes, and the flavoring is on the outside, so there's no flavoring inside. Yeah, it's like sweet soy sauce. The director mentioned that too, yeah. Woo! It's very sticky and sweet, but it's very gooey and good. Let's not get it on the dress. So chewy. And you guys can probably tell already by the looks of it, this one resembles the round, big, full moon. So you're celebrating the moon, and you're looking at the moon, and you're having dishes that remind you of the moon as well. Number 3 is autumn festivals. Now, while tsukimi you could do at home by yourself or with a partner, the actual autumn festivals are done by a certain part. For example, a certain prefecture or a certain city. And there are some really cool autumn festivals. For example, the Tori no Ichi that is in Asakusa, that is one big autumn festival. Because if you think about it, Japan is a nation of lots of fishers, but also farmers. And so the autumn, the harvest, is very, very important. And that's why there are a couple of traditional festivals that celebrate the harvest. Number 4 is camping, which means that you can now finally head out without the really sticky summer heat. Summer nights in Japan can be really hot still, so it's hard to sleep without an air conditioning. But once the temperatures go down to nicer, little bit cooler evenings, but not cold evenings, it's the perfect time to go out camping. Some of the insects are also less aggressive because they're getting ready for winter too. So this is a really good environment to go camping in Japan. And there's also a couple of glamping sites in case you're still really worried about the Japanese insects. So it's a nice way to celebrate the end of summer and have a really nice night camping out somewhere. And while you're camping, I can highly recommend you guys to get a Doram Kanburo, which is your DIY outdoor bath. It's like a hot tub you make yourself with fire and a big drum oil can. If you want to know what that looks like, we filmed this. I can recommend it to you personally. So check out the video in the description for more. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, spinning ever. Oh. Number 5, onsen. While we're already at the topic of hot baths out in nature, Japan has a lot of natural springs with hot water. They're really good for your skin, and that's a wonderful time to enjoy the turning of the autumn leaves because a lot of these onsen are located in a way that you can sit outside. Yes, in your birthday suit, you can sit outside, look at the turning of the leaves, and no one can look inside because these ones are usually located at higher areas, so you can look down onto the colorful trees. That is a wonderful thing to enjoy in autumn. It feels really luxurious, and if you feel like actually being in all those leaves and being in the forest and near maybe a river and enjoying the hot water, again, Don Kanburo would be the way forward. Number 6, Oktoberfest, the famous German beer festival that originates from the October month, is also celebrated here in Japan. There's actually, for example, in Yokohama one that happens around the same time of the year, while other Oktoberfests randomly happen in like May and months that are really not October. If you have the luck and you are here in autumn and you have a chance to actually go out and drink with Japanese people, enjoy a little bit of the beer festival fun, you might make some new friends, and it's definitely a fun way to celebrate the change of the season. Number 7, Yaki-imo. You might be going around the town and hear the sound of a car going past with the same melody that goes Yaki-imo, Yaki-imo. And that is someone who is selling roasted sweet potato, which is a dish that is very much enjoyed here in Japan in the season. Roasted sweet potato is a nice, tasty, savory, light, slightly sweet dish that many people enjoy, warming them up. And はい。はい。なんかあった。長い。Yes. But even if you're not a big Spot fan, I am actually not a big potato fan, even though I'm German. Even though you might not be a big Spot fan, it's definitely worth trying it. It's one of the dishes of the seasons to enjoy. And just the spirit of actually going to one of those small carts that are selling the yakimo is part of the fun as well. Nabe. Japan has a great variety of hot pot dishes that you should not miss when you come, especially once it starts to get a little bit colder. These ones are really tasty, full of vegetables, meat, and fresh ingredients that definitely keep you warm at night for your heart and spirit. And did you also know nabe is also eaten by the sumo masters? So sumoyas actually eat nabe and then they go and have a nap to actually get the full energy and potential that they need. So if you have a nice nabe, don't fall asleep straight after. You might wake up a sumo. Shibuya Halloween. Now, Halloween isn't really celebrated in Japan. Fair warning for that. But there's one exception, and that is Shibuya Halloween, where in recent years, more and more young people come together around Shibuya Station and dress up in fancy dress. Now, that is different from a cosplay event, but a lot of people actually cosplay. Some people just wear something spoopy. Some guys who worked out all summer, they kind of want to show off their abs, so they're just walking around topless and try to be secret agents that are topless. There's a lot of things happening on Shibuya Halloween. And if you happen to be around Japan in the time when there is Halloween and the weekends before Halloween, you might be lucky and see some people dressed up. Now, we don't know how that's gonna look in 2022 and what the rules are gonna be. Obviously, right now, there's not really any assembling, but hopefully, the spirit of Halloween is gonna stay alive, and there's gonna be a spot where people can dress up and have fun on Halloween again. Halloween, 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 da 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 da. 10. There is the Tokyo Game Show, but even more interactive for you is gonna be the Tokyo Ramen Show. What that is, it's a big event where famous ramen stores from all over Japan travel to Tokyo to then dish out their famous ramen. Now, one of the things that you really can consider there is sometimes the best ramen places in which you would have to stand in line for days are actually coming to you. And you don't have to travel all around Japan to enjoy those. So it's definitely a great. I'm still talking, director. It's evening chime here right now. Anyways, if you love ramen, that is definitely a really cool chance for you to actually try different types of ramen. Make sure you go there with an empty stomach because you can try ramen that you've never had before and ramen that you can't really easily get hold of. Also, it's usually over several days, and depending on the day, different stalls will be there. So plan ahead, find out which ramen you want to eat, and then try the best ramen around Japan. A big advantage of traveling to Japan in autumn is definitely the milder weather, so it's easier for different people to come here. But also, because of the turning of the leaves is the second cherry blossom, it's not as overrun by tourists as, for example, the cherry blossom season would be, which means hotels and flights can also be cheaper for you guys. Just something to keep in mind if you're planning to come to Japan. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this and if you want to travel to Japan, let us know by giving us a big like, and also let us know in the comments down below what other top 10 things of Japan would you like to feature us in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Kathy Cat. Be sure to check out our social, and big thanks to our members. Thank you for everyone who decided to become an Ask Japanese member. We're really happy that you want to support us just a little bit more. It does make a big difference for us as YouTubers, so thank you for the extra support. Okay, there we go. I wish you a lovely day. This is Kathy. We're saying goodbye from Tokyo right now, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the next video. See you guys. Bye. Mata ne.